listening to the court.
Translator Portuguese.
Not cooperation and not listening to the court.
Translator Portuguese. Translator Portuguese.
Mr. Burma, you have asked that your client be referred for competency. And hello and good morning again, Mr. Ned and Mr. Burma.
Morning.
Morning, Judge.
Calling the matters of the people of the state of Michigan versus Ola. We have 3 files, 24-372FY, 23-35FY, 24-664FY. We're scheduled for preliminary examinations in these matters. May I have appearances, please, for the record?
George and Ed on behalf of the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Nathan Borma on behalf of Mr. Ola.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ola is appearing remotely from the Ingham County Jail. Mr. Ola, I can see you. Are you able to hear and see me and the lawyers?
Translator Portuguese. Translator Portuguese.
Okay, so I heard you very clearly, so that means that we're able to communicate. Mr. Anid, how are we proceeding today, or would you like me to defer to Mr. Borma?
Your Honor, me and defense counsel have talked yesterday. We were going to agree to adjourn the preliminary examination, one, because mainly defense has not got discovery yet. So I believe the court would either find good cause or the defense counsel would waive the 21 days, whatever works for the court and defense counsel. Further, the issue I believe is defense has not had meaningful conversations with his client. I don't know if that's I think what's going on today, that he's intentionally saying that he doesn't speak English, whatever the case may be, Your Honor. If you can inquire with defendant to the extent that you can, and if it's still not progressive, maybe I would ask for contempt of court, because he's intentionally trying to delay the means of these manners.
Okay, Mr. Borma.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think Mr. Anid did a decent summary for you. I have not been able to have a meaningful conversation with my client. As he was indicating to you, he's requesting a Portuguese translator, and he was telling me his name was something other than what it is. And I believe there might be an issue with competency. So I believe a referral to get this sorted out might be in the best interests of everyone involved. But I certainly, would defer to the court if need be.
Okay, well, Mr. Borma, I need a little more factual information. When did you file an appearance in this matter, and would you like to place on the record your previous contacts with your client before hearing today?
Yes, Your Honor. An appearance was filed last week. There was before the initial conference with Judge Babcock and Mr. Anid. I attempted to meet with my client yesterday at the jail, but it appeared during a time where they were unavailable due to being dinner time. And I attempted to speak with him this morning through a breakout room, but he kept identifying himself as someone different for trans. And so apart from contact with his family who has hired me, I have not had any meaningful conversations yet with my client.
Okay, and that would be really this morning's attempt because you were unable to see him yesterday at the jail.
That's correct, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Borma, on the issue of identification, I mean, are you able to say, today that the person that you were trying to speak to that is here today on our Zoom hearing is your client, Mr. Ola? I
believe he is, Your Honor. I have not had the opportunity to meet him in person or see a picture of him, but I have no
Okay.
reason to
So
doubt.
that we need a little better than that. And I know my court officer is here, and I know Mr. Ola has been lodged, having been extradited from another state, and I know that he's been fingerprinted by the Ingham County Jail. Officer Gonzalez, you're present here today, and anything that any information you have in terms of Mr. Ola's identity here today.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. As soon as Mr. Borma let us know that his attorney, that this person in this room was identifying himself as Luis Suarez and he needed a Portuguese interpreter, I called the jail right away. I talked to the deputies on post 3 where he is lodged. They told me that they actually talked with Mr. Ola this morning in perfect English at head count. They had no problems talking with him in English, and that yes, this is Mr. Ola in this room that you are looking at.
Okay, I appreciate that. Mr. Anid, anything you want to add to this issue of identification?
No, yeah, that's the same information officer told me this morning.
Okay, very good. So, Mr. Ola, the court finds that the person, you sitting in our hearing today, that is in the Ingham County Jail Post 3 video, is indeed Mr. Ola, who is the named defendant in the 3 cases that I've called for hearing today. I further find, sir, that given the full context of the information, especially from the deputies that are closest to you and have been working with you, that you are able to understand and speak English. And in fact, you, in a appropriate response, spoke English to me today. And your failure to continue to speak English and to participate in these hearings is making it difficult for the court to do its job and could be considered contempt of court, sir. So I want you to know that.
Translator, Portuguese. Luis Suarez.
What you're telling me today, just further, your responses here lets me know that you are able to hear and understand me, and that you, from what I am seeing, you are not cooperating, and that is a purposeful not cooperation and not listening to the court.
Translator Portuguese. Translator Portuguese.
Mr. Burma, you have asked that your client be referred for competency, and the court or a party may raise this issue at any time. I just note, Mr. Burma, that you have not had, I'm going to say, extensive contact with your client. And are you able to say that the competency is what we need to address here, or is it more purposeful disregard and trying to, affect these court proceedings here?
I can't speak to what his intent is today. I can tell you, Your Honor, that my conversations with his family has indicated that he has had mental health issues in the past, and that he has had at least one hospitalization for mental health issues. I think there are others, but I'm still collecting all the information from his relatives, and it is certainly an avenue which I'm trying to see if mental health treatment would benefit my client. So as to what he's doing today, I can't speak as to his intent on that. I can tell you that from what I've gathered from his family is that it's quite likely that there are underlying mental health issues going on that should be addressed at some point in this.
Okay, so the standard we're looking at would be, is Mr. Ola incapable because of a mental condition to understand the nature and object of these proceedings and to assist rationally in his defense? Certainly today would indicate that that is that standard has been met. I'm just a little concerned, Mr. Borma, because of your minimal contact with your client. The court will absolutely find good cause to adjourn today and to waive the timeline, and we can get a next date, which would allow Mr. Borma to have an in-person conversation with his client, and then we could come back on the record, and Mr. Borma, you can inform the court of if you believe that standard has been met.
That would be perfectly agreeable to me, Your Honor. I certainly don't want to, mislead the court in any way as to, what my client needs or how best to proceed. So if I could have, an adjournment or a waiver of the 21 days and be able to go speak with my client, I will be happy to update the court accordingly.
Perfect.
And address it once I have sufficient.
Portuguese. Luis Suarez, Portuguese.
Mr. Ned,
Portuguese.
are the people in agreement to an adjournment and the court find good cause to waive the 21-day timeline?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so with that, the court finds for that there is good cause here today to waive the 21-day timeline, that being Mr. Ola's behavior and conduct here today. He has been not cooperating on, he will not speak with the court or his attorney, and at least today, he would be unable to assist his defense in any way. Or further fines. And I'm gonna, Mr. Ola, I'm gonna mute you because you're interrupting me. So if you can stop interrupting me, I will. Okay, and Mr. Ola has been muted. And for those reasons, I find good cause. We're gonna adjourn this matter, and Mr. Borma will be attempting to speak in person with this client, and we will readdress the issue of competency at our next hearing. Probable cause conference is set for January 31st at 8:30. Preliminary examination set for February 6th at 9.
Your Honor, did you say February 6th?
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Anything further from you, Mr. Nid?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Borma?
No, Your Honor. Thank you for your time.
Okay, that's all for this matter. Thank you.